thank you so much for sitting down with us to talk about your initiative. If I didn't get I haven't gotten a chance, and if they didn't get a chance, I'm Cheech. This is Don's Dozens, and I'm definitely in front of you, which is the legend Karl Kani. You got a lot of my money growing up, and this is dope. You know what I mean? I finally get to see you face to face and actually talk with you. You know what I mean? Like one of my mentors, ironically, is Tony Shellman. So I know you guys are from like the same alumni, if you will. So it's just an honor to just be speaking to you right now anyway. But listen, you're like, I know Tony might kill me for this, but to me, I always tell him this, you're like the Godfather of Streetwear. Like streetwear should actually have your face in the definition in like the dictionary. Real rap. You know what I mean? And you working with like Pac, Aaliyah, the list goes on. Biggie, you know what I mean? Like Snoop Dogg, everybody, right? What is it about this initiative that you got going on that made you want to pay it forward to like the new generation? Because I know I want you to explain that initiative first and foremost that you have going on with E&J, but what's the the purpose behind it, and like why did you want to do it?
Yeah, we just celebrated our 30th year anniversary last year, and I just feel like we just got a lot of knowledge to give, and I feel like the things that we could teach young kids in their 20s today about what they're going through, that we kind of could weave them through that a little bit easier with knowledge and information, because we know what we went through and we know how young we were when we started, and we feel knowledge is key. Knowledge is information. To give knowledge to your peoples is an asset. Other cultures do it all the time. We just don't do it enough ourselves. The Jewish people do it, the Arabs do it, every other culture do it. We just find a way not to do it. We want to change that aspect of it because, right? So just imagine you had to pay to think. Imagine only rich people could think, right? You only had money to use your brain. Niggas would be like scrambling, right? To think. Some of the greatest things in life came from thought. Streetwear was created off of me thinking in the projects, thinking that I could do this, thinking no fear, thinking that failure wasn't an option. You go up in the streets, you fear nothing, right? You got to deal with gunshots, you got to deal with murder, you got to deal with over that. This is easy money. That's drama. So I tell kids from the streets all the time, the knowledge that you have, the things you go through, you got tough skin. Now we got to take that tough skin and apply that to business. And I think that's where I think we could help people like to challenge all that energy you got from the streets and apply that to something positive in your life. And that's what we want to come in at. And that's the reason why we want to do this initiative. I feel like we have a lot of knowledge to give to the kids on the streets.
So I want to say there's a statement that Jay once said, like Hove did that. So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that, right? Because like I'm kind of like a bridge. My age, I'm not gonna disclose that, but the fact that I have like so much youth underneath me and I can help them, get to where they need to go and just share, my knowledge that I went through, the bumps, the bruises, whatever, so they don't have to do it as well, is basically, if I'm not bugging, what you're saying that you want to do as well. You know what I mean? Like guide them, not really like just say here and give it to them. Not turn the keys over to them, but like help them understand what it is to drive the car that they're about to have the keys to as well. Correct?
That too, and to also show them my mentality when I was their age, what I thought about, and understanding that the road to success is not that easy. Success is not meant for everyone. If success is meant for everyone,
everybody can go
millionaire. But it's those who set things aside, understand sometimes the road to the top could be perceived to be sort of lonely, right? You got to accept that. Accept your journey where you at. If things are going positive in your life, accept that and deal and walk down that lane of where things is taking you, and don't be discouraged by other things, other paths other people may go on. Let's focus on yourself. So those are things that we could change the mind of a lot of people, I feel, because our story is real. You can't get a more realer story than Karl Kani ever in life.
I heard I don't know if this is like a tall tale or like a mythical legend, but I heard that you left Brooklyn, right? And like absolutely did not like know anything about the West Coast, went over on that side, went to that side, literally ran into like some Hispanics and got like your gene plug. Is that true?
Yeah, well, basically my childhood friend AZ, who just passed away on Christmas Day.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. He was hustling back in the days. He caught a case. He was supposed to go to jail, As opposed to doing that, he moved out to LA. First time coming to Kelly to move with his brother in Orange County. So we lost contact for a few years, and one day he calls me on my house phone. Keep in mind, back then there was no cell phone, no beeper, nothing. You gotta catch a nigga on his house
Catch a
phone.
nigga. You gotta catch a nigga to catch a nigga. He's home, he's home.
Right, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, he hits me up one day, he's like, yo, what are you doing, Carl? I said, yo, I'm just making this custom made clothing and stuff like that. He's like, yo, why don't you come out to LA and do that? I was like, man, I ain't come to LA. Ain't nothing but white girls and beaches out there. Ain't come to LA. He's like, nah, man, they got a hood out here. I ain't got no hoods in LA. To prove to me they had a hood, he sends me an Eazy-E cassette tape in the mail, right? Ships it to my house. To prove to me there's black people out here. I'm like, oh shit, they got hip hop out there? I said, get the fuck out of here. Because you know, back then, there's no other way for you to go. All you do is see LA on TV shows, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, bet, I'm coming to LA. Cause a lot of people's getting locked up. Things wasn't going right. So he finds us a store on Crenshaw Boulevard, 4312 Crenshaw. It was right down the block from Nipsey Hussle's store. Because he wanted area all the black people were in LA. And on Sundays, all of the gangbangers just drive up and down Crenshaw and they low riders put on a car show, right? So we opened a store right there on Crenshaw. We thought we was about to get paid, right? He's like, yo, we're gonna bring this fashion out here. Man, these dudes was not into none of that. They was into their khakis, and their dickies, and that's a wrap. So all that New York clothing we had, they wasn't buying nothing. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks later, some gangbangers came and robbed our store at gunpoint, took everything we got out the store, told us get this New York shit out of here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we had two choices at that point. Either we pack up and go back to New York with our tails in between our legs, or we try to figure this out. And after you come out here, you felt success in LA for some reason. I think it was the weather, the palm trees, it was just different than the projects, right? So we felt, nah, we need to stay here. So we ended up getting an apartment in Hollywood, start hustling out the magazines, placing ads and Word Up and Ride On magazine. That's what kept us alive right there. We had to touch the people, but we had to do it through mail order as opposed to having a free flagship store at the time.
Wow. So now fast forward real quick. I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna go present to past, present to past. I just want to bridge it, right? So like present day, there's a whole bunch of kids out here doing so much because of the internet. Because I mean, anything they need, I mean, damn near even factories is at the tip of their fingers, right? How do you feel about that? Like watching these kids with their entrepreneurial spirit and having like, you know, basically they're dictating their future, like right now. Like college is like really low key plan C. Like, all right, well, if this doesn't work, I'll just go to college. And like, that's not even a first thought no more. Like that was the thought back then. Nah, fuck a college. Like, let me figure this out now. And if not, I'll go to college. What do you think about them now doing this for themselves right now, the way they're doing it?
I love it. You know, you never knock anyone that's doing something righteous and moving forward. You know, things are going to change. Everything's not going to be the same. But the one thing that's common amongst anybody who's successful is grinding. If you're grinding every day, things will happen for you. There's no one should ever tell you your path is wrong if you're grinding. Because like, they don't know where it's going to plan out. You know what I mean? Like, unless somebody's a billionaire, you don't need their advice if you know you're grinding on your own, because you don't ever know what's going to work, right? But I know what won't work. If you're sitting at home smoking weed all day, on your phone all day, on internet all day, I don't see how that works. If you grinding, go for it. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's all about. It's grind, hustle, and enjoying what you do at the same time.
Okay, so back to that grind, the hustle. I told them I'm gonna ping pong, past, present, past, present. So I'm back to the past. Now you're on Hollywood. You're sitting there hustling out of the magazine. I gotta ask this question. When did you say to yourself, oh shit, it's working, it's clicking? Because you had to apply that grind that you just mentioned, right? But now you're in a whole nother coast, but you're a Brooklyn nigga in a whole nother realm. And now you're sitting back trying to like blend these cultures in this world to, you know what I mean, basically move to your drum beat. Like, how did you like, you know what I mean, like really like set that off for yourself?
Yo, I'm keeping it real with you, man. Like, one thing about West Coast hip hop artists, and when we met them, it was almost like we knew each other for a long time. The respect they have for the brand, I'm taking you back from Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Daz, the whole crew. When we met them, they wanted to represent this brand. They loved it. they wore it, and they wore it unconditionally. Snoop wore it in his most famous video, Doggy Style, when the one when he turned into a dog. Remember that? You know that video?
Of course, of course.
He had on. What sweatshirt you think he had on in that? It's Karl Kani.
That's
The
a
dog had on a Karl. He switched from a Karl Kani sweatshirt into a dog. Aaliyah, on her first album cover, Agent Nothing of a Number. What did she have on? The same sweatshirt Snoop had on. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
In this video that he did, that's when he's beefing with Dre. He had on Karl Kani. These artists, they could have worn any brand they wanted to wear, anything they wanted to wear. They chose to wear another Black designer's clothing brand. There was no money exchange. It was none of that. It was all the love. To this day, that's how we got down with them. So the East Coast, West Coast love was all righteous, and all that East Coast, West Coast war is a bunch of nonsense. These are some of the best dudes out here ever. Besides us getting robbed, that's the only bad incident we had in LA. It was about. But besides that, it was all love with everyone out here. And I just feel like that just shows you what happens when us stick together as a people, what we could build together. Because without the power of hip hop, I feel like we would have been successful, but it wouldn't have sky boomed as quick as it did, because hip hop needed a brand, a fashion to respect, and we needed an outlet. And no other clothing brand back then wanted hip hop artists even wearing their brands. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want hip hop artists in their clothing back then because they felt like that's going to deter my original customer. So it was like a match made in heaven, hip hop and Karl Kani culture together.
Wow. So real shit. This is where like I always get like mind blown by like the yesteryears of what y'all was doing with fashion, seriously, because y'all were up against a lot of Goliaths, if you want to call them that, because at the end of the day, y'all were like David slaying them anyway, right? Because y'all was like winning. It's true, because after a while, they started to go from slimmer and from preppier to more hip hop anyway. Like we all know what it is with Ralph and Tommy, they and Nordica, they basically changed their whole, you know what I mean, like fashion, like ideology and DNA, and went with what y'all were doing. Let's keep it a stack, right? So with your initial investment, because again, tall tales, mythical legends, you know what I mean? You said you started out with $1,000, bro, and you turned it into $1 million. Now with this initiative with E&J, how's that working for like this current project you're doing? Like, what is it that, I know you're not giving him 1,000 and say, hey, let's go make $1 million. I know that's not what's happening, but what is the whole process behind this whole entire initiative?
Yeah, I think, it goes back to when I was speaking to you about knowledge and information. And I feel like the knowledge and information we can give to these young kids out there trying to be an entrepreneur is going to be monumental in terms of, it's probably even better than having money, because you can have a lot of money. If you don't have the knowledge, the money's going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? But the knowledge of how to do things and how the work ethics that we have to contain in this business and the connections and how to get things done. Like, we go straight to the source. We're not gonna teach you to go this man, this man, this. We're gonna go right to the source, how to get this done, how to be profitable in business, how to market a brand, how to make a good product. Not only that, too, to realize this world is bigger than just the United States. As of right now with Karl Kani, we do more business international we do here in the United States. Our biggest markets is Germany, Russia, Amsterdam, Italy, Poland, Sweden. We're the #1 streetwear brand in those markets right now. And that's
so basically, I don't mean to cut you off. So basically, this is great. So what you're telling me right now is that you're bigger out of this country than you are here. Just like mainly, I would say, hip hop is bigger in those countries than it is actually here. Because I mean, what we have here is like a melting pot of hip hop. I don't want to call it the core hip hop, but like the core hip hop is really big over there. So basically, core fashion, hip hop fashion, urban fashion, not streetwear, is where you're winning.
It's, keep in mind, we've been doing this for 3 decades now, right? So we understand how this market works. You go up and down. So you understand how this valley, how it works, right? Mm-hmm. So the first 10 years probably was our most difficult years of trying to figure things out. And from year 10 to 20, actually, that was the hardest years, because we now had to figure out how to sustain this thing, which is very difficult for us. But in those international markets, they respect and honor true hip hop culture and true hip hop history there. Here in the United States, we're kind of fickle. We kind of move where the wind blows. We're fast moving. Out there, they even have courses in college on hip hop history. Those are college courses you could take in Europe, right? It shows you how their dedication is towards the culture. So these people are really deep in the culture. They respect the history. And more than that, You know who they love the most? The god to them is Tupac, right? So every time they look at a picture of Tupac, what is he wearing? He's wearing Karl Kani, right? So that connection right there means so much that he was so intertwined with the Karl Kani brand to that market to this day.
Besides Pac being such a revolutionary, and I know he stood by his people and he was always about his people, like your relationship and his connection to y'all brand is like kind of like you just said, synonymous. Like, was there anything that you can say that you put out in the market that was like requested by Tupac? Like, did he say, yo, can you make me something like this? And you was like, all right, I got you. And then next thing you know, every one of us was buying it. Like, no cap. Cause like the hat with the beanie hat with the string, that I was so small. That was like all I could get, but I needed to have something. I needed it. And my mom was gonna kill me if I bought this hat, but I got my bread up and I bought it. And then next thing you know, it was like a snowball effect for me. I was like embedded into it. But like, what did he request? Did he even request anything?
You know, Tupac was a very, very different dude. You know, I'll tell you my first encounter with Tupac when I met him in person. You know, Tupac used to wear my stuff all the time and I really wanted to meet him. And he wore my clothing in the MC Breed video, I Gotta Get Mine. Him and MC Breed had the stuff on through the whole video. And I was like, I gotta meet this dude. So I hit my man AZ up and I said, yo, I wanna meet Tupac. And keep in mind back then, with no cell phone and beepers and ways, this is kind of hard to get in touch with people, right? Just like ancient times, right? So we had to call the record company, they had to give us a contact. It was like, you know, you go through connects. Finally, his man Stretch, he was a hood nigga from around the way, so my man AZ hooked up with Stretch. I met Tupac at the Hotel Nico, which is now the SLS Hotel in Beverly Hills on La Sierra.
Favorite. I know exactly what it's at. It's my favorite hotel, actually, yes. That was a mirror situation inside that. Never mind, but you ain't never been to SLS, man. Go to SLS. That's where I stay. Anytime I don't fit. Go ahead, carry on. My fault.
So I go to his room, we knock on the door, and he says, come in. He's sitting at a table, and he's typing a script to a movie, and he's smoking blunts. And so
Crazy.
We're having a great conversation about hip hop, culture, Black Panthers. There's only one thing though, weird thing. He never looked at me, never. He's typing, talking, never looked up. So my goal was to go there to ask Tupac about doing a clothing campaign for me, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just hard to really ask him when the dude ain't looking at me, right? But he's talking to me, everything's good. And he's smoking blunts, chain smoking the blunts, and then room service came to knock on the door to deliver some food to him. I was like, all right, I'm gonna ask him now. They knock on the door. So I was like, yo, Pop, how much did you charge me to do an ad? And he gets really quiet. He didn't say nothing. It felt like an hour, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, I fucked up. I shouldn't have asked him. Fuck, I'm mad at myself. He looks up at me, he says, yo, you Black. I'll charge my people for nothing. I said, my heart just kind of stopped. Like, that's not what I expected to hear from him. I thought he was pissed off that I asked him the question, right? Mm-hmm. He says, matter of fact, no, he says, actually, I want one thing. I'm thinking, oh, well, here we go. Here we go. How much you want, Pop? He said, yo, I want you to put Thug Life in some of the ads with me. I said, that's it? He said, yeah, I want to know if I can put my crew in some of the ads with me when we do the photo shoot. I'm like, dope, let's do it. And that just broke the ice. Then the other Pop came out. Then he passed the blunt. Then he started talking. And then he started he's like, yo, I got this idea. I want to do this ad. I want to be on top of a basketball rim in Harlem with no shirt on, rocking your Karl Kani shit. Then I want to do another ad. He visually directed the whole photo campaign within 2 seconds. And everything he said happened just like that. Nothing. Just like that. That's how it happened. Simple.
So the only request was him just directing his photo shoots. That was it.
And he wanted some of the Thug Life crew to be in some of the ads.
And he just wanted his homies in it.
Yes, that's it. That's all he wanted. And not only that too, he didn't want free clothing. He said he wants to pay for it. And this is true story out Tupac. This is the Tupac that I know. Tupac that he's just a real dude, man. And he didn't want free clothing. He said, nah, I'm gonna pay for your clothing. He said, your Black band will pay for your clothing. I'll support this shit. That's what he said. And that's why you see all these photos of him wearing my stuff. It was never any paid endorsement with Tupac, ever.
In fact, it was actually, he paid you.
Yes, and to this day, he's still paying to this day because of his legacy and who he is as a person. How
he paid it all the way forward, and you still going off of that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Talk about community. Talk about community. You know what I'm saying, man? And I just want to tell you, what you're doing right now for E&J and for the youth is probably making Pac up there smile like 10 times over and over, because he would do the same thing, because I know he was with the kids and he was for the kids, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up in that era, so it's just like really dope to even hear that story, because it's like you sit back, you see you guys in a Source, Word Up, and all these magazines, and you don't know what the hell goes into any of this stuff as a kid. You just like super like into it, and like this was all you had. There was no social media. There was no internet when I grew up. You know what I mean? Like pagers, I had one, so it just started happening. And it was just like, yo, this is it. Like, this is hip hop. This is all we have. You know what I mean? Music videos and magazines. And damn, like homie paid you to basically creative direct his own photo shoots.
100%.
Fire.
I can't, like, I never met anyone like that in my life. He's the most realest dude I've ever met. And he's a man of his word, for sure, 100%.
Bet. So how long is the E&J initiative that you got going on in the mentorship going on till?
Yeah, I believe it's going to go on for 2 months. We've been promoting it a lot. I think a lot of people are signing up. So I think we're going to pick out a winner. It's going to be exciting to work with whomever they pick to be part of this program. Because I tell you one thing, we don't play no games when it comes to business. They better be ready to go, because our hustle don't stop. Like, to this day, we're on our grind, 6 o'clock in the morning, we work it out. We're on our grind, because, like, you know, we know that life is not given to you, you gotta go out there and take. Success is not given to you, you gotta go out there and take it. So we're gonna take it till we can't stop.
100%. Has a pandemic interfered with any of your business in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and how did you pivot?
Well, you know, it's sort of what our retail operation sort of in Japan it did, but you know, we just kind of pivoted to more focus on online sales right now. People still wanted hot fashions. They still want to be in the now. You know, people at home on the internet, you know, surfing things. So we kind of just changed our business model somewhat just through this pandemic, but we'll get through these. These things happen and you got to be ready for it and be willing to adjust. You know, business throw you a lot of curveballs. So anything that comes our way, we just understand you got to adjust. There's no options. We're not going to quit. So you don't quit. That means just making a little pivot and adjust and make things happen anyway. So that's kind of been our philosophy with that.
Nice. Now, this is where we're going to get a little bit like, it's going to get fun, because I got everything from you that I needed to know. But now I'm going to give the public what they don't know about you. So I got 4 categories for you to go through, and I just need 3 answers for each category, because this is Don's Dozens, and I need a dozen answers from you right now. All right. Okay. So, because it's women's, no, you know what? What is your top 3 cult classic movies?
All right. The first movie that inspired every kid on the streets to get money, Scarface. I learned a lot from that movie. It inspired me. It showed us that there's something out there for us. And I ain't trying to say it has to be illegal, but there's a better life out there for it. It's very inspirational for street dudes. You know what I'm saying? The philosophy. Come to this country and work it, just getting it. You don't have to commit crimes, but you can get it other ways. Determination and focus. Scarface, I would say. Another movie, I would say, I don't know how old you are, but Car Wash. For some reason, I love that movie.
I know that movie. I know that movie. Trust me.
And I would say another movie that motivated us a lot on the streets back in the days was Warriors. Know that one?
Ooh, that's my joint. No, I know that one.
Warriors come out to play.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I almost added that to my list, but for some strange reason, it always bothered me that, you know what I mean? They had like a gang and wearing a baseball uniform with makeup on. I would have never take them niggas seriously. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm really from Brooklyn. I'm not going to take you seriously, bro. You're not going to make me not get to Coney Island. You're bugging. But I respect it. Okay, now, next category, top 3. Remember, top 3. Because you're from Brooklyn. So I know you better have a good top 3 call. I promise you. I need a top 3. Your all-time favorite corner store snacks.
All right, bro. All right. This ain't no funny shit, but we used to get them. You remember the candy rings?
Yeah.
Rings with the candy on it?
Yeah, ring pop.
Yeah, pop. Those are good. And the other ones was like little dipsticks. You know what I'm saying? Get the little stick.
Oh, the little pixie stick joints. Yeah. And you had to get it was the white stick with the fake Kool-Aid inside.
There you go.
That's true.
And the last one was from the ice cream truck, the Italian ices.
Wait, hold on. The yellow one, the merino joints that you had to flip up aside and it had the gel on the bottom.
There you go, bingo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my guy, yeah, all right. That's a solid 3. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so wait, that's your 3. That's it. That's all you get. You can't give me no more. If you got an honorable mention, I'll take it.
That's good right there. I'm good with that.
All right, say less. Now, because it is now Women's Month, International Women's Month, right? I need to know, and I'm very versed in this world. I need to know your top 3 favorite female R&B artists of all time.
All right, here we go. The Queen, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, Ashanti.
Boom, that's 3. That's it. That's all you get. That's it. All right. So you heard it here. Is it in that order or is it just those 3?
Mary J. Blige is first.
Okay. I won't ask who's in between. We're not gonna start nothing on my part. I don't want my comments blowing up. We're good. So, and now this is real. This is good because you're technically the Godfather of Streetwear. All right. So it's the last category. Top 3 fashion brands of all time that are not yours.
All right. So I'm gonna be definitely biased because I'm only gonna tell you brands that I've worn before I started my own brand.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Izod.
Who?
Campus.
Who?
Campus Latigra.
Latigra. Okay.
And Polo.
The guard, Ralph. Everyone knows if they watching this show, they know what I feel about Ralph. So we're good.
Those are the brands that, as a youth growing up, we used to like, because we couldn't afford a lot of shit. We used to take off our alligator and sew it onto another shirt that wasn't an Izod shirt. Just showed you had an alligator. That just made it feel like you were successful doing something. You feel me? So like, these are the brands that inspired us in the hood to feel like we had money. It was those brands right there.
Say no more. That's crazy. This is everybody there. You have it. I got the top 12 Don's Dozens from the man himself, Karl Kani. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you're doing, man, and I appreciate the time you gave me today, man. It was a big wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, bro. Lots of love. And have your people send us. I want to send you guys some of our new collections for you and a young lady who.
Look at everybody behind. Look, if you know what they're doing right now behind it, like yes, they're going crazy. So all right. She's wearing it right now. They're bugging out. Yep. Just you can talk now. Just say thank you. Tell them thank you.
Thank you.
You hear them. They're happy.